All right, everyone. We'll go ahead and get started. Thank you all for joining us this evening. I'm Matt Keenan. I'm the Director of Outreach for the College of Health and Human Performance. Tonight we are discussing our Department of Health Education and Promotion, which oversees two of our degree programs, Public Health and Environmental Health. This evening, we have two students with us currently. They'll get the chance to talk about themselves. We'll probably have a third one joining us virtually. We have Miss Kelsey Webster, who's one of our awesome academic advisors, who is along the journey with you and helps you, get those classes that you need and things like that. And then we currently have our program coordinator, Miss Kelly Russell, joining us as well. So Kelly is right up there in my top left corner. I don't know about for you guys, but with all of our little introductions really quickly, Miss Russell, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Miss Keenan. I am so excited to be with you all tonight. Just to tell you a little bit more about the public health program at ECU. So please know this is very informal. If you have any questions, just pop them in the chat. I've got it up, but I am going to ask if others see something in the chat. Likely I get so excited speaking about public health, I might miss it. So just chime on in, stop me at any time. Real quick, and feel free to put it in the chat if you like, but if I said purple, what do you say? All right, Destiny knows for sure. I'm sure someone of those too. If I don't see it in the chat, the correct answer would be gold. But if I ask the same kind of question and I asked you to have an immediate response, if I said public health, what comes to mind? Anybody?
COVID.
I knew somebody was going to go there. I wasn't sure if we were going to go there quite that quick. But I do think that, just like Cadence mentions doctors, EMT, we often think clinical roles. We can think about COVID, and we certainly have seen that within the last 4 years because the media has done an excellent job on covering it. And I could say excellent, maybe there could have been some spots that were better. But whether it's clinical, whether it's working in a community site, whether it's even in a work site, public health can really change by the time. It can change by the focus. So it might be chronic disease. It could be things such as maternal and child health, which is kind of the lane that I really like to work in. We have a lot of individuals working in opioid use. We have mental health. So depending on where your interests lie, public health can really kind of help you determine what you can do with this degree and how you can ultimately help other people. That's the one common word that I hear between all of our students. They want to help people. How they help people might change. So again, it could be in a clinical practice. It might be in a nonprofit. It could be in a school setting. It could even be in a business. So our degree, we have 3 concentrations. We have pre-health professions, and that is more of the clinically focused programs. So if you are a student that wishes to go to medical school, PA, OT, dental school, or whatnot, you know that you need to have a degree. And with that degree, you need to have a lot of volunteering, a lot of shadowing, strong GPA, and certain prerequisites. So you can leave with a BS degree as long as you meet the 3.0 GPA minimum requirement and a B minimum in some of your sciences. And you have to be able to declare before 75 hours. So that's one concentration. We have 2 others. We have a community health, and that's actually our most popular concentration. And we do see individuals working in health departments, hospitals, more governmental settings and things like that. So if you're interested in having one-on-one relationships with clients and maybe having less focus with clinical procedures, hands-on care, things like that, the community health route might be for you. And then lastly, we have our worksite concentration. And we've seen a lot of businesses that understand the return on investment and making sure that they are taking care of their employees. So we understand that there's 3 P's associated with public health: prevent, protect, and promote. And if we prevent illness from occurring by asking people to engage in healthier behaviors, by giving them the tools they need to make behavior changes such as tobacco cessation, stopping vaping, managing their diabetes, and things like that. Employers can actually save money and have more productive employees. So, Amazon, Verizon are some of the bigger names that we have had hiring our graduates within their employee wellness programs. So, those are our three tracks. And I'm happy to answer any questions on them, but I will say that's the academic piece of our program. There's plenty other ways that you can engage as a potential scholar. Looking at student organizations, and we have Preconception Educating Pirates. So if you're interested in reducing preterm births, that's one option. We have TACO, which is Team Awareness Combating Opioids. So I mentioned opioid use being an issue, especially within the last 10 years, we've seen an uptick of this. We have seen a good number of students that are interested in reducing this and making sure that we have naloxone on our campus and out within our community. We also have our public health ambassadors, which is a selection process to be a part of, but they're great representatives of our program. They're involved with special assignments such as accreditation, and then they also get some perks of added networking in with our chairs and our dean. We have Eta Sigma Gamma, so ESG, you might have heard of that. That's our professional honorary society for students, and they focus a lot on service and volunteering. And then we lastly have Her Plus, which is focused on women within the public health profession and helping them grow within their discipline. Kind of wrapping things up, and feel free to drop those questions in the chat. But we also have a study abroad opportunity, and it can be included within your curriculum, and it even could be a cheaper option, especially if you're an out-of-state student, than paying per credit hour. But we do a study abroad. This past year, they went over to England, Italy, and France, and they're going to be going back again next summer. There's potential for a study abroad opportunity in Ghana with Dr. Leslie Kofi. And speaking of Dr. Kofi, he is a wonderful researcher within our department. That's one more way that students can become involved. So as you start to kind of take the big field of public health and narrow it down and find the interests that you might be most focused on, we have a larger population of faculty. With that, you would think, okay, large program, I'm going to be a person that doesn't really stand out in the classroom. Even though we are a large program, most of our classes are 40 students or under. And as you get into your junior and senior level courses, some of these are 25 to 30 students. So it is a very individualized experience. And if you go the route of research, you have the opportunity to really build that one-on-one relationship with other faculty within our program.
I will just say, as a former ECU student, I went on 2 faculty-led study abroad trips during my undergrad, and they were a fantastic experience. It's a much less of a commitment than like an entire semester abroad. You know, you go with the faculty members that you're already very comfortable with, and you know, people in your program, and they are just really wonderful experiences and great alternatives to, again, like an entire semester abroad.
So really quick, I'm also going to hit on our environmental health degree. So Ms. Russell just talked about our BS in public health, and it has 3 different concentrations or tracks that you can go down. Our BS in environmental health is really kind of focusing on how does the environment affect the health and well-being of others. So a couple of really cool examples of this. We have faculty that are really invested into like air quality and workplace quality. We have some professors that are interested in mosquitoes. So how do mosquitoes, you know, carry illnesses, most notably recently the Zika virus that we are seeing in pregnant individuals across the country and other countries as well. And another one, wastewater, mosquitoes, air quality, really water in general, just like how does water affect well-being for everyone involved. So those are kind of 2 different tracks that you can go down, public health or environmental health. Environmental health is a little bit smaller of the 2 degrees, but still very popular across campus. A lot of really cool research going on in the department. Food safety is another really big one as part of environmental health. So we see a lot of our alumni go on to work for county health departments. So making sure pesticides are being used correctly, making sure food is protected and consumed correctly in terms of like restaurants. So like those food sanitation ratings. Let's see, Department of Homeland Security is another one because they do air quality research. I was just on a trip last weekend and we saw them kind of doing testing, which was really cool just to make sure people at this massive event were really safe and no one was trying to have a negative impact on the event. But yeah, so those are kind of our 2 different degrees. Kelsey, did I miss anything that you can think of? No? Okay. So yeah, 2 really cool opportunities, fantastic faculty. Like Ms. Russell mentioned earlier, this is a really kind of laid back opportunity for you guys to kind of talk to us, ask questions. You can turn your camera on, turn your mic on, whatever it may be, but the chat is open as well. But while you guys are kind of thinking of those questions, we have 3 fantastic students with us today. And so I'm going to ask you guys to introduce yourselves, what your major and what your like track is, and then why you chose ECU. So go ahead.
Okay, so my name is Simona and I am a senior. I'm a public health major in the pre-health concentration. I am in the honors college and I'm in the early assurance program in medicine. And what else? I completed a maternal and child health certificate. It's a 2-year program. And I plan on having a minor in promoting health, equity, and human services. That's a lot, but the reason I chose ECU was I think that I saw, even on the first time visiting campus, I saw how committed faculty members were to student success, and I've really grown to love that. One of my close mentors I have known from freshman year, and they're always supportive on making sure you succeed and providing you with new opportunities that you wouldn't have heard about otherwise. So yeah.
I'm Destiny. I'm also a senior in the public health major. My concentration is community health. I'm also completing my maternal and child health certificate currently, so I'll be graduating with that in August. But I chose ECU honestly because after I took a tour of it, it was just a very welcoming community. Greenville's kind of small, and there can sometimes seem like there's a lot of people here, but ECU we're all our own little, like, I don't know how to say it, like, yeah, community. And there's always something going on campus. It's never really boring. Also, like within our own major, there's always something going on at the Belk building. Like they always are making sure that we're up to date on the health things that are going on in the world. Like what Friday it was the Wear Red Day for heart health. And the faculty members are also really sweet. I took Miss Russell's class. I took 2 of her classes, and she learns everyone's name. You're not in a class of 100 people. They get to know you personally, why you are taking this major and your goals for after you graduate. So that's why I chose ECU.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Tyra. I'm a senior this year. I'm a public health with a concentration in pre-health, kind of on the pre-med track as well. I'm also the president of PEP Squad, Preconception Educating Pirates, that Miss Russell had mentioned. I chose ECU, same as Destiny, just like more the community. When I was on tour, it just felt like the right place to be and the right place to go. With public health with itself, also bouncing off what Destiny said with the faculty members, they not only do they just care about you in the classroom, but they also care about you outside of the classroom. And the connections you make with them aren't short term, they're very much long term. And that also just like kind of encouraged me to want to join more of attending ECU. And just within the major itself as well. That's pretty much about it.
Nice. Oh, we got some questions. Cool. Is there a specific GPA for you to enter ECU? Kelsey, you kind of answered that already. It looks like. Do you want to expand on that at all?
Yeah, I just wanted to say if that's from an admissions standpoint, that question would have to be answered from an admissions counselor. But yes, if I mean, assuming you've been accepted to the university, then no, there is no GPA requirement. If you're coming in as a blank slate freshman, you will come in with a 0.0 your very first semester, and then there are certain GPA requirements for declaring the particular concentrations. But no, I mean, just again, as long as you've been accepted to the university, there is no GPA that you have to like first establish somewhere else in the university before you can come to public health.
What is the best way to get a scholarship and get ahead? So there's a couple aspects that we can approach this question with. One being honors college, so making sure that you're kind of working ahead, regardless of what year you are in high school. Honors college has an opportunity to gain some scholarships. They have different thresholds, so that's a lot of based on like GPA requirements, service, volunteer hours, things of that nature, maybe even leadership positions that you've held at your high school and in your community. So those are kind of some big ones from the external side of ECU, if you will, like prior to coming in. Once you get to ECU and once you have that ECU established GPA, we have a system called ECU Award, where you kind of just go in and it auto matches you to scholarships that you're eligible for. So that portal is open October until January. We do have a couple of incoming freshman scholarships, but they're also kind of more geared towards students once they're actually here. So we have a lot of really cool scholarships. We have a lot of really unique scholarships given on by alumni who are very passionate about their different fields and experiences and wanting to help shape the lives of future and fellow students. So that's a really cool aspect. But there are, like I mentioned, a couple that you can apply to before you are enrolled at ECU, but then there's an even larger pool once you are actually here at ECU. What else? Kelly, it looks like you answered that one. One thing I don't know if we completely mentioned yet, all of these degrees, except for the pre-health concentration, require some sort of internship or practicum experience. So our college is really big on experiential learning, so getting your hands into the workplace, understanding that dynamics, things of that nature. And so that way you can build out your resume and be competitive and ready day one once you enter the workplace. So that's a really unique factor of our programs. And we see a ton of positive benefit from it. The pre-health aspect, you're eligible to kind of build in more of those science requirements if you are interested in some sort of post-secondary degree process. So it has a lot of opportunity for you there. If you already have your plan after high school, but you don't know exactly what the best school is for your learning type would be, what would your advice be for figuring out what college would be best for me? So I personally, I'm a two-time grad at ECU. When I was navigating my college exploration process, I literally, similar to what these students have said, went on feel. I knew I wanted kind of a larger school, but when I was touring like some larger SCC type schools, I was like, this is not the place for me, right? But when I came to ECU, I like to say it's got a really big campus feel but like a small community. And so campus is gorgeous, it's walkable, like it checked just a ton of boxes for me. And so I would say finding your community, finding your people, finding your place, asking questions, liking the answers that you get for your questions is really important. So sometimes it takes like going and exploring other universities and colleges just to only find out that ECU is probably a good fit for you. Do you guys have anything to add to that?
No, I think I kind of felt the same way.
Yeah.
I took a tour and I was like, I love it.
It just like clicks for you.
Yeah.
It's really weird to describe, but like it's almost like once you know it, or once you feel it, you'll know. So that's a really cool aspect, I personally feel. But yeah, so as far as learning type would be, we have a really cool resource on campus called the Pirate Academic Success Center. So if you are, you're used to like your smaller high school classes where, you know, you're ahead and you maybe not necessarily know your best study techniques or whatever it may be, that center on campus is a resource and a tool for you to kind of just navigate and adjust as you are entering your college career. I would say same thing for co-ed. That's kind of an intro to college course that really sets you up with a lot of tools and resources that you have access to. It's a 1 credit hour class. They really encourage freshmen or first year students to take it, and it's an opportunity to kind of just get your feet wet and get into a good habit of things. Do scholarships email you, or do you have to investigate about the scholarship you're looking for? So if you are eligible for the Honors College, they will reach out to you. So there's different levels of the Honors College. They have Brinkley Lane, which is basically a full ride. And then they have some other tiered smaller scholarships. But if you are eligible for the Honors College, they will notify you. There is not an additional, well, there is an additional application, but they will notify you. You cannot access it without them notifying you. As far as scholarships that are internal to ECU and to the college, what happens is you go in and you put in your ECU credentials once you have those, and it'll match you with what scholarships are available to you. So it may be based on your major, maybe based on your GPA. There may be some ones across the university that are open to you that you can access and apply for. Sometimes they'll require some sort of supplemental items, maybe an essay, a resume upload, something of that nature. But for the most part, they're going to match you with the system itself. It's going to match you with what scholarships you're eligible for. Does that answer? I hope that answers both of y'all's questions. Kelly, yeah.
Yeah, I'll chime in kind of one more layer of that. I mentioned earlier that you can come to ECU, you can attend classes, you can leave with a great degree. But again, the more you engage the student organizations, if you choose to do opportunities that are kind of extracurriculars, that can assist. And with the term scholarship being used, I just thought of something that we're doing this coming Friday, and we're taking 12 students to the Minority Health Conference in Chapel Hill. It was an application process, so there was a very short Qualtrics online form that students had to submit. But we are paying for them to attend that conference. I also think about Simona. Last year, we went to Boston for our maternal child health scholars program. So again, the more you engage, there's plenty of opportunities out there. The example with maternal child health, each of these scholars get $1,500 to use towards professional development. So lots of opportunities. Sometimes you have to find them. But if you come and look around the buildings and read your emails, you'll find a lot of different opportunities.
Yeah, and I would say, just to echo that even more, there are people want to help you, people want to see you succeed, and it's just my common phrase around here is just meet me halfway. So like, be involved, ask questions, you know, share your dreams, share your goals, whatever it may be, and like people are going to pour back into you and want to see you succeed. Simona just said that she's going to a conference tomorrow, or symposium.
Yeah, well, just to echo that, I would say one thing that has helped me, like as a freshman going into ECU, I looked at all the faculty of like the public health department, and I looked at their research, and I looked at what I thought would most interest me. And I just like cold emailed them and said, hey, like I'm a freshman, I don't really know what I'm asking you or what you can help me with, but can I just sit down and like, I guess, like learn about how you got to where you are, and then that has led into so much. So, and like you said, like people want to help, so I think that as a student, that's my experience, so it's true. But yeah, tomorrow I have a symposium, and I did have to apply for it, but I got a scholarship for it, so I didn't have to pay for that. So there are ways that you can not use your own money, I guess, and still get these enrichment.
The financial support, right? Like that's something big for our college as a whole. Do freshmen have the opportunity to do research? Yes, 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 yes. And how do you find research opportunities? So, love the fact that you're even considering research as a freshman. A lot of people, don't necessarily always understand what that looks like, and that's okay. But there are a lot of really, really cool projects going on around campus. We are hoping some really good news is coming down the pipeline for ECU in terms of like our research status. The College of Health and Human Performance, and especially a lot of members of health education and promotion, we're number 2 behind Brody School of Medicine for grant research and grant revenue being brought in. So that just tells you like how much research is going on in this college. And it's really, really cool to see. How do you go about finding the research opportunities? Kind of just like what Simona said, like just explore and navigate some of these faculty web pages that we have on our website. And tomorrow I'll send out a link to the website just so you have it handy. But you can go in and look and see what faculty are doing. It has like a Scholar or Google Scholar link usually associated with their headshot. And so you can go in and see what their research interests are. You can see like what kind of publications they've had, work that they've done across disciplines. So it's a lot of interdisciplinary work. The maternal child health scholars that they've mentioned works with our School of Social Work department, as well as our Human Development and Family Science department. So a lot of really cool work. You're working with other students, you're working with other faculty from different departments. So it's a really positive environment that you want to be included in. So yes, please look at research opportunities. Yeah, Kelly.
Yep, I've got one more thing to add in there. Even though you might not be attending ECU right now, you can still follow along on social media, and I'm sure Ms. Keenan will place that within the chat for you to all follow along. But you can start to see the things that faculty members are doing within the programs now. That way, maybe you're already starting to build that relationship with a faculty member as you come in as a freshman, and then work towards that research across the remaining years.
And if you feel like, you're seeing the research and you're like, I'm not 100% sure that this is, where I exactly want to be, you can pitch ideas to faculty. Like you can, talk about what you want to navigate and explore, and they can help guide you and say, okay, like this is what you should be looking at, or like this is a really good colleague that you should be talking to, or whatever it may be. We just had 13 students receive pilot funding awards from various disciplines in HHP from the university to pursue research. So it is really cool to see. It's happening. It's definitely something you want to be involved in. I'm a freshman.
I had one of my students receive an IRCA, so the
Yeah.
Creative Research Awards, where she came to me with the idea of, hey, we've got an issue with food insecurity within one of our buildings. She proposed it to the university, and now she's working to get a mini pantry located in one of our facilities.
Yeah, so you can have an impact as a student, and research is one way to do it. I'm a freshman right now and do very well in school. What are some things that I could do to get where I need to be to get into a good school for a medical degree? Simona, I'm gonna hand that one to you.
Okay, well, so you're a freshman in high school, so you have a long way to go, but
It'll fly by.
yeah. Let's see, what helped me? Gosh, I'm thinking about high school now. Definitely have good relationships with your teachers in high school, I would say. And one thing that helped me, I think, to the application process is that I have a very like international background, and I've been lucky enough to be able to have experiences volunteering abroad in Nepal. And so through that process, it not only helped me decide that I wanted to go down the medical path, but it also helped me explain why I wanted to and show like that like the actual reasons why I want to go into medical field and not just no reason at all, I guess. And I would say
Shadowing, volunteering.
yeah, shadowing, volunteering, definitely like hardcore experience, I would say, like so you can base off the reason, because going in like down this path, you're gonna be asked like, why do you wanna be a doctor, go into the field? So like drawing on your experience and specific anecdotes is also very helpful in this process.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything to add?
I would say just find a balance. I would say my fault in college and in high school was I didn't find a good balance between having fun and getting schoolwork done. And if you find it in high school, I promise you, you'll be way better in college. Because I'm a senior now and I just found my balance. And my first 3 years of college were a struggle because there were times where I was taking 18 credit hours, which is the max credit hours, and I just couldn't handle it sometimes. So, especially if you want to work while you're in school, definitely make sure you find your balance.
Cool. Diverse experience, I think, is a really cool, something that stands out on applications, especially for scholarships as well.
And then once you're here at ECU, we do have a set of pre-professional advisors that work specifically with students that want to go on to med school, PT, dental school, optometry school, occupational therapy, things like that. So you will have a specific pre-med advisor that can help you narrow it down even more about exactly where you want to go and can just help you be the most competitive applicant that you can be. They also do a lot of really great events. They have a prescription for success event where they bring in people from all the various medical programs, and that is really geared towards our freshmen. So just know that once you get here, you would have a lot of support, for your medical school path as well.
A lot of really good resources too, like study sessions, talks.
Yep, practice MCAT,
Yeah.
practice debate.
Helping with advising, like use them, like any resource that you have here, use it because it's just going to set you up for success. What other questions, comments? Yeah, they're saying follow our Instagram. I'll go ahead and put this in the chat so you guys can see. But these three ladies behind me, as well as a few other HHP specific ambassadors, have a student run Instagram account where you can kind of see like day in the life stuff. And so like what it's like to be an actual college student, and what they're involved in on campus. You guys have already heard a little bit of what you guys are involved in. Is there anything else that y'all are involved in?
I'm also an RA if anybody's interested in that
Oh, yeah.
position. An RA is a resident advisor. So you're working with campus living and you're just kind of getting skills of like managing conflict, managing your time, managing just other residents, being able to help them out in ways that, like we're kind of helping you guys out, just giving them guidance, pointing them in the right direction for resources. So if you guys are interested in that opportunity, that is also just like a great thing you can put in your application process, just to kind of build on top of like your medical or whatever degree you want to go into it on your resume.
And it's a good way to meet people too. Where did you guys live on campus?
Ooh, so I'm a COVID.
I'm a COVID.
COVID entered. So we got kicked off campus after 2 weeks when we were freshmen. And after our first 2 semesters, I came back to Greenville and I lived in apartments. So I don't really have any campus experience, but there are many student apartments here. They're all pretty affordable, I would say, depending on if you want to live by yourself or if you want to live with 3 other people. And obviously if you're bringing pets or anything. But that's just my experience. I don't know if you guys live on campus.
Yeah.
I live on campus.
I was also COVID, so first 2 weeks doesn't count, but when I came back, I lived on West End and I lived in Clement Hall 1 year, and then Green Hall. Green Hall is like the designated dorm for the honors college, so they all live together, so that was a way to like meet friends also for me.
I would say my freshman year, I stayed in College Hill, the neighborhood, and I stayed in Ballard West. As an RA, I've just been in one dorm, which was in Weston, and that is Whitehall. It's more of like an upperclassman dorm. So after you just, you got adjusted to the school and to the campus, you kind of made your friends, and you want to be away from the freshmen, but you still want to be on campus and close to everybody. I'd say Whitehall is a great hall to be in. It's a lot more quieter than the other halls too.
Right, the freshman hall.
Cadence, I am not gonna lie, I'm not entirely sure what a Crosby Scholar is.
Either.
You don't either, okay.
No.
So if you wanna elaborate on that, or you can send us an email, feel free to ask. I can do some research for you, but don't have an exact answer for you right now. Is it required to stay on campus as a freshman? It is. And it is a really positive experience. Don't let that deter you because you meet a lot of really good people. I'm still friends with some of my freshman year people that lived on my hall. And I'm like, we're not going to talk about how many years I am. But it does create really like meaningful relationships. And you're just immersed into the college experience. So I personally am a College Hill person. That was my there's 3 areas of campus. There's College Hill, West End, or Central Campus. And it just all depends on kind of like where you want to be relative to everything else. I think College Hill had the better sweet treats in the dining hall. Which is my 2 cents.
You definitely eat good on campus.
Yeah.
Those first 2 weeks, I was always
You was
eating good. A freshman 15 is real.
What else? What other questions do you guys have? You can ask them questions, you can ask us questions, whatever it may be. Nothing? Oh, there is nursing programs at ECU, right? Yes, there is. Nursing is a competitive program though, and so it's based off of a point system. I will say that we see a lot of intended ECU nursing students come in, and yeah, Destiny's a perfect example. A lot of ECU intended nursing students come in and they get into their classes and they're like, no, not for me, which is totally fine. We want you to have that experience earlier on than later because it can affect your graduation timeline. But there is a nursing program, but we also do see a lot of intended nursing come to public health for various reasons. You want to talk about that at all? If you're comfortable.
So our nursing program is great.
Yeah.
We have one of the greatest nursing programs in the state. It's just, like she said, it's very competitive and it's really hard. So don't do it unless you're very, very dedicated to it. Like, you have to, I'm not gonna say devote all your time to studying, but there's this one class and it's taught by our lovely Dr. Jones, and she's a sweet professor, but she's a stickler when it comes to things. And you really have to like, don't go out and party, you have to really dedicate yourself to it. And I just wasn't dedicated enough, and that's okay. It wasn't for me, and I learned that before it went too far. But I left public health. But if you're really into nursing, then do it. Just make sure that that's, exactly what you want to do.
What else? Crosby Scholars is a program for 6th through 10th grade students in Rowan County. It helps financially and with college enrollment. I think that would be a great program to be a part of. I'm from Iredell County, so right up the road from you. So very cool. I am not familiar with that. I need to learn more though now, I feel like. So
Yeah, I was gonna say I have found their website, but yeah, I just need a little while to
explore it a little bit. Yeah, ECU, and just because we're talking about in Rowan County and college enrollment, ECU is exploring some like they call it Pirate Promise. So it's kind of like you're looking at different. Maybe you want to start off as a community college. There are a couple of identified programs. Public health is not one yet. I'm not sure if we're gonna go that route or not, but it's an opportunity to kind of engage with ECU while still being at the community college level. So it sounds like a lot of you are maybe a little bit younger on this call, which is awesome because we love seeing how prepared you are and just as you're exploring. But Pirate Promise is an opportunity to maybe get your feet wet at the community college level, take a couple of your intro classes, and then transfer into ECU. So, what are some fun facts about ECU? Well, I got a lot, so buckle up. No, I'm kidding. Some fun facts.
Sandra Bullock went to ECU.
Sandra Bullock went to
She
ECU.
did.
Yeah.
And then another actress off of CSI Miami. She also went to ECU, but I don't remember her name.
I recall her. I know who you're talking about. Some other fun facts. We started off as a teaching university. We are the only university that has a dental, medical, and College of Engineering, which is a really cool mix-up between programs. We have a ton of labs within our college, so a lot of research opportunities. We are a phenomenal baseball school. I don't know if you saw ECU kind of in the news this past weekend. I mean, if you didn't see ECU in the news this past weekend, that's impressive because it was all over the world, truthfully. We have he's a sophomore now, but we had a freshman who was in a boating accident and lost his leg and is now playing college baseball. He's the first college baseball player to play with a prosthetic. So if you're on any sort of social media, go look up ECU baseball and you will probably find that video. I was there, I cried, it was beautiful. No, it's like a truly like special moment. Trying to think of some other fun facts about ECU.
When you walk down the stairs in the
Oh, yeah.
library, they play a piano sound.
Or like Mr. Beast.
Yes, Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast.
If you're familiar with Mr. Beast, he's on campus pretty
Yeah.
regularly. So you might be a lucky person to get some money or swag. Win a car.
Win a house.
Something. He's from Greenville. I personally love the beach, and so we're an hour and a half, anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours away from some really beautiful beaches. What else?
Isn't Shaquille O'Neal always here?
He's been here.
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal's always here for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Anthony James at Sup Dogs.
Yes, famous Mr. Beast. Yes, that is him. Trying to think what else, Kelsey.
So we have a student that said, I got accepted into ECU, but I'm having trouble figuring out if there is a program that interests me. I would just say that ECU has a ton of opportunities. And even here in the College of Health and Human Performance, we have everything from interior design and fashion merchandising to social work to public health and environmental health, as we're talking about right now, so just kind of try to narrow it down a little bit about maybe what you want to do, in the future, kind of work backwards. But as Kelly said earlier, if you want to be in a program that, that helps people, this is a great one for that, even more specifically, but that we do have a lot of resources that can help you kind of narrow down the different opportunities that are offered here at ECU. So, I mean, even if you want to email me, we'll give contact information at the end. I'm more than happy to help you with that. Or if you have any more specific questions about public health or environmental health, I'm also more than happy to help with that. And yes, and Mr. Beast, he's a Greenvillian. He's
Yeah.
Sorry, just lots more comments about Mr. Beast,
Yeah. People just don't believe us, I guess.
It's true.
Yeah, he went to Greenville Christian Academy.
Yeah, Michaela, like Kelsey said, we can just chit chat and say, hey, what are you interested in? What are you passionate about? What brings you joy? And we can probably find a program for you here. So what else, guys? What other questions? Favorite spot to eat on campus?
On campus.
Or in the Greenville community?
See, I'm never on campus other than the Bell Building, but I
don't have food there.
I love La Rancherita. If you're of age. Cause Lawrencery that has alcoholic beverages. That's why a lot of people go there. But what else? There's a lot of like mom and pop shops here too that you really have to like really look to find them. Coffee and Spice is one of them. Sidebar. Those are kind of like downtown though. Area. Those are where I eat the most.
I like Einstein bagels.
Oh, yeah.
That's on campus. It's pretty good.
I would say Weston, their omelet station is absolutely delicious.
You make omelets every day for you, different
Yes,
varieties.
Absolutely delicious. They're so good.
Chase, I'm interested in weightlifting and other aspects like kinesiology. Is public health the right place to go for something like me? So we actually have a department of kinesiology, and we are in the process of getting National Strength and Conditioning certified and accredited through the USA Weightlifting and there's another acronym I'm missing. But Chase, if you're interested in weightlifting and kinesiology, I will send you an email after this because we have a academic night for that group next week, actually. So you can learn a little bit more there as well. What else? Anything else? Last couple minutes. Yes, Miss Russell's contact information, Miss Webster's contact information, and I'll send a follow-up email to everyone on this and who registered for the event, that we can have the link to this recording as well as some other resources for you guys. But if you guys don't have any other questions, I think we are good for the evening. We'll stay on the line for a couple of minutes just to, if you have any one-on-one questions. But if you guys have anything else, what kind of clubs and groups would be good to do in college?
I would say it depends on what you're interested in, because there's tons of opportunities on campus that you can join clubs. You can even create a club if you're interested in doing that as well. We have clubs like from rock painting clubs to women's health clubs, or we also have like academic clubs as well. There's SGA, if you're into like event planning and stuff like that, there's a club called SAB, which they focus on planning events for just like all of campus. So it just really depends on what you're interested in and what you see for yourself and what you enjoy doing.
And club sports. So like if you're active and you're in sports, we have a club weightlifting team that you do competitive events for. Things of that nature. So there's academic clubs, there's social clubs, I call them, personal clubs, things like that. So yeah, it's just open to whatever you want to be a part of. Also really interested in physical therapy. Is there another program to look for? Can I still arrive at that through public health? Kelly, I might let you answer that one.
Sure. So really it's about figuring out what's right for you. And if you know you want to go the route of physical therapy, we can certainly help you get there. Again, what you really need is a strong overall GPA. Physical therapy is not an easy program to get into. You need a strong GPA. You need volunteering and shadowing. You're going to need strong recommendations. And certainly our program, we can build in any of the sciences that you're going to need within a pre-health concentration to help keep you having the strongest GPA you can. We can also go ahead and make sure you have time for volunteering and shadowing. So you could also go the biology route. You can go the chemistry route. Whatever science route you would like to go, you can do. But you will have your nose in a book of biology for 4 years. And you're going to have much less time to be out in the community volunteering and shadowing than if you do our program where you have the sciences you need, but then also a firm foundation in health equity, women's health, health disparities, all of the other areas that are going to help you protect everybody, everywhere, every day.
When y'all have games like sports, do you have to pay for the entrance or is it free as a student to ECU? So that we have a thing called Student Pirate Club. It's a yearly fee. It's like $65. But it gets you entrance to all the home football games, all the home basketball, all baseball, things of that nature. So you pay that membership and you're pretty much set to go for the year. You don't have to pay the membership, it just doesn't guarantee you entrance to certain games. So the Boneyard is the student section at ECU football games, and so it guarantees pretty much admission to those games and guest tickets if needed. But yeah. Any other last questions? All right, well, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Like we've mentioned quite a few times, feel free to reach out with any questions that you may have, and we look forward to, oh, one thing I didn't mention, come to campus, come visit us. If you are an already admitted student to ECU, which I know we have at least one on the call, we have Admitted Students Day in March 23rd. You've probably received a few emails from the admissions office about it, but I'll include that in the follow-up email tomorrow as well. If you are just beginning your college search, ECU Admissions offers a ton of tour opportunities that you can be a part of. There's even some self-guided tours, but if you come to campus, reach out, let us know. We'd love to meet with you in person and maybe show you some areas on campus that aren't always included in the tours. So yeah. Thank you guys again for joining us, and go Pirates.